Hello, you guys. It's Lagira Moon Goddess. And today, for Real Talk Friday, we are going to be discussing you need to know how to read people's energy in this world. So, that is what we're going to be discussing today. Let's get into it. So, reading people's energy, sensing people's energy. You need to be able to read people like a damn book. You need to know how to read them like a book. Because a lot of people, and a big thing that I believe in and I follow and live by, is you have to stop trusting what people are saying. You need to pay attention more to people's actions than their words. So if you're somebody who you holding on to what somebody said, and you're really trusting and believing what this person said when they could be lying to you, black and blue in your face, you have to stop listening to people's words. So do that first and foremost, and that's going to also help you with sensing people's energy. But sensing people's energy, you have to be able to pick up on people's energy and sense certain things about them. Because a lot of people nowadays, people are just so, like, they're too trusting of others. They're way too trusting of others. And me, I am someone, I've always been very wary of people anyway, because it's like, I don't want my time wasted. I'm not going to get used. I'm not going to get played, and I don't have time for the nonsense. So, and I'm very selective and picky of choosy of who I want around in my life anyway. So, with that being said, you need to figure out how to start reading people. You need to be able to start sensing people's energies, because you can tell when somebody, or I certainly can, because I've just always had this ability. You can tell when something is off with someone. You can honestly tell when somebody, and I'm not talking about something like they're acting crazy or they're doing whatever. It's really the little thing. It's like the nuances with people. It could be their tone of voice. It could be the way that they said something. It could be something with their body language. It could be something as simply like we're talking about in this video, the energy that they give off. And with that being said, I think being able to sense people's energies, to read people's energy, that is honestly a skill that you need in life. And it's an important skill because, especially when you get older, you don't have time to waste. You do not want to be wasting time with certain people. You do not want to be stuck listening to someone who turns out they're a liar, they're a schemer, they're a bad person, they're trying to use you, they're trying to manipulate you, whatever it is. You don't, and you have to believe you do not deserve to go through that anyway. So, with that being said, it is a skill that you need to learn. If you do not know how to read people's energy, it is something you need to learn. You need to be able to pick up, and I've talked about this or mentioned it in a previous video. It's kind of like, for example, when I'm talking about people's energy, it's almost like basically an aura that they give off. It's kind of like when you walk past someone or you're near someone, you can tell that they're angry, and you can literally feel the anger radiating off their body. That's basically what I'm talking about. But I'm not just talking about in the sense that somebody's angry, somebody's, whatever. You have to know when people, because when you're able to really sense people's energy, you are able to tell, oh, this person is a liar. Oh yeah, she's definitely a fake person. Oh yeah, this is somebody who's definitely a schemer. This is somebody who's definitely trying to use me. And, and when you train yourself to do this, when you build up this skill, it starts to work automatically. It's basically like you've created an indicator to help protect you in life. So, with that being said, it is very important to know how to read people in this world. Because, as I said earlier, you don't have time to waste with people. And if you're like me, you need to see yourself as a goddess or a god. You dictate, you choose who you want in your life. You don't want to be having people in your life trying to use you, trying to drain you of your energy, trying to pull one over on you. because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to go through that. You don't deserve to be put through hell, especially if you're someone where you've already gone through a lot of hell and chaos and discord in your life. You don't want to go through any more hell. So when you train this ability, when you're able to read and sense people's energy, it is a protective skill that you need in life. It is something that is needed. And by the time that you're an adult, by the time you get older, you need to have this ability. So how do you get to a point where you're able to read people's energy? When you're able, you need to be able to kind of sense the environment anyway. You need to be able to pick up on the way people are acting, the way people are talking, because sometimes, again, it can be like the little things that you miss about someone. And you may not realize it at first. You may just gloss over it or ignore it. Or, maybe he's just socially awkward. Maybe this person is just strange. Maybe they're just, and you start making up these excuses. It's like, no, those are already the signs. And in my previous video, we talked about signs and symbols. So there's going to be signs, and when you're interacting with someone, there's going to be signs and symbols that you need to be aware of. And if you gloss over it, over these signs and symbols, or you make excuses, you just, oh, maybe it wasn't like that, or maybe he didn't mean it like that, this, that, and the other, you're going to miss them. So see it as that. See it when you start sensing something with someone, about someone, see it as a sign or a symbol. Because it's already a sign and symbol that, oh, I don't need to be dealing with this person, or oh, something is off with this person. Or oh, this person seems like, he can't control his temper. Like he may get violent. Or, she seems like she just gossips and lies a lot and just uses people for her own personal gain. So, with that being said, be able, train yourself, get into the habit of sensing people's energy. Notice things, notice the details, notice their body language, notice their tone of voice, notice their diction, which diction is their word choice. And when you start picking up on things like that, that's going to help you because you're becoming more aware of their presence. And this is going to help you also notice their energy because you're taking note, you're focusing, you're paying attention to this person. And it's like, oh, you know what? Now that I've started doing this, I am noticing that this person, something does seem off about him. Or I'm taking note of how she's speaking. I'm taking note on how she's acting. And I can tell, I can sense that she's not a good person. And when we talk about good and bad, I can always tell. I've always had this ability. It's like right off the bat when I'm dealing with someone, especially in an in-person interaction, I can honestly tell. Sometimes even just by looking at someone, oh yeah, this is somebody who's up to no good. Or oh yeah, this is somebody I can already tell that this is someone who has a fake personality. Someone who's fake as hell. I don't want to deal with this person. I don't want this person in my life. I need to get rid of this person. I need to get away from this person. I've always pretty much had that capability. So, with that being said, train yourself. Start paying attention to the nuances and the details of people. Because if you don't pay attention as closely as you should, you're going to miss certain signs and symbols about this person. And you're going to be ending up having chaotic relationships or messy relationships or being used or being abused. And then you end up because you don't need to end up like a victim. You don't want to be like one of these people, especially as women. You don't want to be one of these people online on social media talking about, oh, the narcissist has, he lies, he does this, he manipulates, oh, he was a narcissist, I'm trying to tell you this. I don't want you to have to ever deal with a narcissist. Don't be one of those people, and even if you do, please don't be one of these people posting these damn videos out here about the narcissist. Just get into the habit, train yourself, learn to be able to sense people's energy. And when you're able to do this, and especially if you're someone with strong intuition anyway, it's already there. You just have to train yourself. You just have to trust yourself. And you're going to notice, oh, I do know how to read people. I can sense that there's something off about this person, or I can sense this, that, and the other. So don't see it as something, because it's like anything else. You have to learn, you have to train yourself, and then you'll be able to use it when you need to. It's always going to be there. And then you're going to have something to help protect you as you're walking on your path of life. So with that being said, and this is a relatively short one, that is all I have for you today. And I will check you guys later in the next one. Bye-bye.